Bonjour mes amis et bienvenue au Pendu dans un Cercle de Lune. Hello friends, if this is your first time here, welcome. Thank you for coming. I'm pleased to meet you. If you've been here before, thank you for returning. I'm truly honored. Friends, if you are a returning visitor, you probably know from the beginning of this video that my attempt at a French accent indicates that this is my series in which I use Terre de Marseille adjacent, and antique Italian decks to help me explore the central message of this week's larger spread. And I've done this week's larger spread, and if you haven't seen that, I'll put a card up here for you to click on and hop on over and take a look at that spread, because it's a brand new spread to me, and it's based on the Lust card, and it's a really, really interesting spread, and it's helpful to watch that before coming here. And you know, just in case you didn't know this, you can watch that larger spread in bits and pieces, and that's just fine. Now, just in case you have done that, you've watched that video in bits and pieces, and now you want a quick refresher before we dive into this Terre de Marseille reading, let me give you just a reminder. The week's spread was about our feelings of potential defeat, and that we may be causing our own defeat, and we are asked to be mindful of what we are doing. But at the same time, we've got this call to enjoy who we are, where we are, what we're doing, to let that joy, that love pour out on others, but also be mindful of a couple of things. One, that what we are doing is leading in the direction of who we want to become. What we are doing is leading in the direction of the evolution of ourselves into the people we want to become. And that we're not opening the doors so wide and thoughtlessly to people who might be there to take advantage of us. So we don't need to be scared, we don't need to be frightened, we don't need to batten down the hatches, we just want to be mindful that we don't allow ourselves to be manipulated, and we won't be manipulated if we are mindful of who we are and what we're doing. Does that make sense? That seemed to be this week's larger spread. Now, I've got a smaller spread of Terre de Marseille and the Bellin Oracle all laid out. And I'm going to do this video into two pieces because my memory is being wonky on me. So what we're going to do, I'll show you the picture of the spread. I will show you the question I ask every week. What is the central message of this week's Lust spread? That's what I'm calling it, my Lust spread. And then we'll talk about the cards. We'll talk about the Terre de Marseille. And then I'll talk about the cards from the Oracle Bellin, and then I'll say thank you. Okay, are you ready? And thank you. Before I begin, let me say thank you already to those of you who have hit that thumbs up button and who have subscribed to the channel. It really does help the channel, and it helps other people. It helps bring people who might be interested in this content into this space. So thank you for doing that, for helping me, you, and other people as well. Thank you very much. So friends, here we go. Here's the spread. So we have a very interesting spread. From left to right, we have the 8 of coins, the 5 of wands, and the Judgment card. Now the Judgment card. And it seems to be the perfect card for this, the perfect card in this spot as an answer to the question about this week's larger spread, because the Aeon card from the Harris Crowley based deck that I used appeared in basically the last spot as well. So having the Justice card here seemed to be like spot on. Yeah, but we're going to start with the 8 of coins. We'll move in the direction that I named them. Here is the 8 of coins. Beautiful card. This is the Noblet Tarot. You like the Noblet? I love the Noblet. This is the deck created by Flournoy. And I'll have a link to this deck and also to the Oracle Bellin in the description box below. What is the 8 of coins? Well, it's being open to abundance and self-care. We want to be able to take care of ourselves and be open to the abundance that would be naturally flowing to us if we are open to it. Does that make sense? We're asked to nurture our health and to balance ourselves with nature. Abundance and prosperous fullness are possible here. And we can be grateful for that. Gratefulness is, I think, strongly indicated here. Now we have the possibility of harmony and wealth, a harmonious flow of our energies out into the material world to be creative. Now, we also don't want to rush things. We want to take it nice and slow. Slow and steady wins the race. That's the tortoise and the hare, right? I've been using that in classes here in the winter camp that I'm teaching. Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. That's indicated here as well. So we've got this beautiful idea of abundance and enjoying the abundance and making sure we're caring for ourselves and that we're in harmony with the situation, that we're in harmony and we're feeling the wealth that exists, whatever that is for us. Now, your wealth is different from my wealth. Experiencing that wealth and be in the harmonious flow of the energies that we have chosen to participate in. And then the next card is the Five of Wands. Beautiful card because we go from that stability and openness into playfulness and experimentation and trying out some things and taking creative risks. The fives for me are that breaking out of the structure of the fours, but playfully and with exuberance, especially with the wands. It could be indicating a new desire, something we've been itching to explore. Energy to go beyond what has been and known, what we have known. Evolution towards an unexpected depth or a larger dimension is called for here too. We are playful, we are experimenting, and we are evolving as well. And we have the power to heal and to bless, which will be nicely echoed in the next card. But you see, we go from the stability and harmony and flowing with the energies and taking care of ourselves as we are open to the abundance, and then we have the energy to start playing and to experiment and to go beyond what has been known and to evolve in depth and in breadth. And that leads us to the Judgment card. Da, 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 beautiful card. We're being called. We're called to reflect of where we've been. Because that we always want to, we don't want to but drown ourselves in the past. We don't want to think only of the past, but we want to reflect on where we have been and how we've gotten to where we are so that we understand where we are going. And we follow the calling, the horns from above, the awakening, the irresistible desire to move in the direction of our calling, which was opened in the Five of Wands, right? So we have a realization. We might get some good news, which would be nice, but we stay open and we awaken to the purity of our consciousness, the breadth, the depth of our consciousness, which already exists, but we don't give fully attention to it. And we have the potential to heal our families, to heal our relationships, and to heal that which has been disrupted around us. So we follow our calling. We're open to our own awakening and to the awakening of our consciousness as we follow our irresistible desires on the path of our own evolution. That makes sense, right? From this card to this card to this card. Now below, we had 3 cards from the Cercle de Lune. Let me show you, no, I'm not going to show you. I've already shown you the cards, but let me get the cards. I'll be right back. Friends, my original video was corrupted, and here I am with the light starting to go away, trying to redo this video on the fly, so please bear with me. But you saw, we had 3 oracle cards from left to right: the pyramid, the barren island, and the bat and the rat. Let's start with the pyramid. Here it is. I hope you can see it. The pyramid we have associated with the sun. The side title is Elevation, elevation. Yeah, and pyramids mostly, not all, but many of them at least, were burial chambers, right? So this card, we have the idea of connecting the human body with the divine, with the sun god. Yeah, the sun god, Ra. Perfect for this card. You also see the ladder down here, which reminds us of connecting or rising up on a ladder. There's a biblical reference to a ladder, and I can't remember whose ladder it was, if it was Ezekiel or if it was somebody else, but there's a ladder in the Bible which somebody climbs up to get to the heavens. So we have that idea of the connection with the divine. And the meaning for this card is progress. Continue on the path set forward. Yeah, that we're called to go beyond our personal limits to perfect what we are working on right now, which is wonderful. And we had some indications of success in the larger spread this week. But we also had indications of trouble, which is interesting because the secondary astrology for this card is Mercury, which is a relationship, the messenger of the gods, right? So we have the relationship and communication with the divine with Mercury. But when this card is with Saturn, we can know that there could be difficulties and hardships and delays ahead, which I think were also indicated in the larger spread this week. And you'll see in just a moment that we'll have another card associated with Mercury, so keep that in mind. So this card, yeah, go beyond our limits, keep going forward. It could be difficult, and it might be more difficult than we think, because this next card, the barren island, which is associated with Saturn, which gave us those delays and hardships in the previous card. Yeah, this is sterility. It's a sterile island in the middle of choppy seas. So the island is a spiritual place which we can reach after a long journey, but even though we're in the middle of peace and in the middle of chaos, still that peace is sterile. Yeah, and this card indicates that whatever we are pursuing, the outcome is not good necessarily. Yeah, we could be reaching a possible dead end. The thing that we're thinking of could actually be a utopia, something that is unrealistic. Yeah, it could be a fruitless project. It could be leading to disappointments. Now, the secondary association here is the sun, which sounds good, right? We just had the sun. And the sun brings light and heat and life to this limited Saturn card, Saturn of limitations and the inert and the rigid. So the sun helps this card a lot, but progress is slow. Yeah, it will not meet up with our high standards. So we're going beyond what we normally are, what we normally do. We're going on our path. It's going to have hardships. There are going to be difficulties. And they probably, the outcome, while it might not be a dead end, it might not be a dream-like utopia that we're moving towards, but it might not live up to our expectations or our expectations. Yeah, did I say that twice? I think I did. Anyways, so then we move into this very interesting and somewhat disturbing card, the bat and the rat, which is associated with Mercury. Yeah, Mercury, which was the secondary card for the pyramid. Yeah, the sun and Mercury. Here we have Mercury. The side title is Volpert, which is theft and loss. And so this card is a little bit unsettling, right? This card is about loss, theft, breach of trust. We want to take good care of outcomes or they will not go well. Yeah, so we're cautioned to take care. Now, the secondary astrology here is Jupiter, which cleans up the filth and takes out the trash. So Jupiter here, along with Mercury, can be very helpful. So what we want to do is clean up, right? We want to clean up, and we want to allow ourselves to connect with the divine and keep going in the direction we want to be going in and exceed our limits. But no, it's not going to be easy sailing. We might find hardships. We might find difficulties. It might be slow. It might not end up being as wonderful as we hope it would be. But if we clean it up, like the bat is taking away the dead rat, if we clean it up, things should be okay, right? So that kind of merges with that top message of doing a little bit of self-care, yeah, going in harmony with things, bursting forth and following the call. And now I don't have that card with me, but do you? Oh yes, I do. Here it is. Do you see the harmony between these two cards? The angel calling up and the bat lifting up. There's not necessarily a harmony, but there's an echo between these two cards, which I find really fascinating. So that is the message for this week. Does that make sense? I hope it does. So friends, thank you for joining me on this journey. And now, as always, I wish you love, joy, well-being, and pure awareness. Thank you.